You know, when I was in my 30s, one of my friends said, there are just no good men in Lakeland. And I said, I know. I had to go to Mulberry to get mine. But you know, men don't come ready formed like Adam. Although adorable, like puppies, they must be trained. And so, I'm going to tell you what I tell newlyweds. Be very careful what you do that first week of marriage. So I'll tell you, after we came back all aglow from the honeymoon cruise, back to his house in Keysville, which is a suburb of Nichols, in a suburb of Mulberry, we walked in, and there was this nose-searing stench of dead bodies. His freezer had gone out, and all the meat was rotten. And what was red streams before is now brown streaks. It was awful. It was just awful. I said, oh, Howard, this is awful. Go sit down. Relax. Let me clean it for you. Not. I went, oh my goodness, first week of marriage, you know. So I said, oh, I must go home and rest, and I'll be back later. Well, let me tell you about home. Okay, so when Howard asked me to marry him, he said it would be forever. I said, oh man, so why would we want to mess up a great friendship? He goes, for the sake of the children. He had possession of his 3 boys. I now determined the sake of the children was our daughter that came some years later, Kimber. But I said, oh my goodness, it's gonna last forever. You mean that whole death do us part? One of us isn't gonna make it out of this one alive? And he said, yes. And he said, and you don't have to live with us. What a compelling engagement proposition. What do they call it? A proposal, yes. So I agreed to this. So back to the story, our first week of marriage, I come back and I leave in my 12-cylinder Jaguar and hightail it back to my house in Lakeland on a lake and come back 6 hours later. I am dressed, I have regained my serenity, I'm just adorable. And I walk in and I go, hi! And he's sitting in this brown velvet chair with the speakers blaring for Creedence Clearwater Revival, and he's got his scotch. And I go, hi! He goes, I don't think this marriage is gonna last. I said, turn off CCR, give me that scotch, snap out of it. He may have pouted a little bit more, I don't remember, but we truly understand each other. So, be careful what you do that first week of marriage. It can set the tone for the entire marriage.